Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, look at the sources, and really distill what matters on complex topics so you leave truly well-informed. Today, we're plunging into something people often whisper about, but maybe don't talk about enough. Money and relationships. We all know love starts with feelings, right? But the reality is, finances are kind of the silent architect of its future. They shape everything from marriage dreams to, well, the tough stuff like divorce. Often, money is the make or break factor.
That's absolutely right. Money. It doesn't sound very romantic, does it?
Right.
But it really serves as this critical, often invisible foundation. It's what determines if love survives, in the real world. So today we're going beyond just the surface level. We want to unpack its influence, look at the psychology behind it, explore how it works globally, and navigate the modern challenges money throws into our relationships.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive, it's pretty clear. We want to uncover the surprising facts, maybe some practical wisdom about how money and emotions get tangled up. The goal is you leave this conversation informed, yes, but also with a genuinely fresh perspective on this, let's face it, fundamental and sometimes uncomfortable topic. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's unpack this first part. We tend to think of love as purely emotional, feelings-based. Why is something that seems so unromantic, like money, actually so crucial for a relationship's health? What's that direct link between, say, financial security and feeling emotionally secure with your partner?
That's a great place to start because it really taps into something fundamentally human. There's this idea, sometimes called attraction theory in this context, that suggests we're inherently drawn to stability. If you think about it, maybe from an evolutionary standpoint, financial security used to signal, the ability to provide, protect, create safety.
Ah, okay, so it's kind of hardwired.
Exactly. The world's changed, but that deep need for safety, for predictability, that hasn't really gone away. Financial stability gives you that sense of predictability. It lowers stress. And that frees up emotional space, right?
Yeah.
Space for connection, for intimacy, for dreaming together. When you're not constantly fighting over bills or worried about the next financial hit,
Yeah,
you can actually focus on the relationship itself.
precisely. It
Yeah.
creates fertile ground for emotional security.
So it's less about being rich, maybe, and more about that feeling of security money provides or doesn't provide. And I guess this is where that classic spender versus saver thing really kicks in. It's not just minor difference, is it?
Oh, far from it. It's not superficial at all. These aren't just personality quirks. They're often these deep-seated money scripts we learn in childhood. A saver might have grown up with scarcity, so they prioritize security, planning for the future.
Right.
A spender, maybe they have more of an abundance mindset, or maybe they see money as a tool for, enjoying life now, or even coping with stress. These are really fundamental ways of looking at life and resources. So when those clash,
It feels like a fundamental clash of values, not just a disagreement over buying something. It can feel like your partner just doesn't get you on a basic level. And that's why we often say, money isn't romantic in itself, but it is absolutely the foundation. Love either builds on it or it can crumble under the pressure. It dictates the practical stuff, the roof over your head, the holidays you take, all of it.
that really reframes it. It's about our psychological wiring. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. How do different cultures handle money and marriage? Is it wildly different across the globe?
It is fascinatingly diverse, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are some underlying constants, too. If you look at, say, many Western cultures, the U.S., parts of Europe, there's a really strong emphasis on individual autonomy, independence.
Right, keep things separate.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Couples might keep finances largely separate, maybe split bills 50-50, have their own accounts. It reflects that broader value of individualism. The upside is personal freedom. The downside, maybe less transparency sometimes, or feeling less like a financial team.
And that's probably quite different elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely. In many Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures, the approach is often much more collective. It's rooted in a community view. Family finances often merge not just the couples, but sometimes involving parents, extended family even.
Wow, okay.
And traditions like dowries or bride prices, they're evolving, of course, but historically they served complex roles. A dowry could offer security for the bride. A bride price might show the groom's ability to provide and honor the bride's family. It points to this idea of marriage joining two families with shared finances, shared responsibilities.
Which must create a strong support system, but maybe also more input from in-laws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It fosters support but can add layers of complexity.
That's a really stark contrast. Now, thinking globally, one huge trend is the rise of women's economic power. How is that changing these dynamics, whether it's the Western model or the more collective ones?
That's a massive shift, and it's fundamentally reshaping things. As women gain more access to education, careers, financial independence, well, those traditional provider and homemaker roles are being challenged everywhere. In Western settings, it often pushes towards more equal partnerships, joint decision-making, but it also forces new conversations: who manages what? How do we value non-income contributions like childcare? In more collective cultures, it's leading to fascinating changes too, sometimes empowering women to negotiate differently, maybe even shifting away from things like dowries as women bring their own economic power.
So the landscape is really changing.
Dramatically. But the core truth remains. Across all cultures, the rules might look different, but money always matters. How it matters, though, is definitely being rewritten right now.
Always matters. That's a key takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears into the conflict zone. We've talked about the why and the global how. But here's where it gets really interesting for a lot of people. What actually makes couples fight about money? What are those common friction points?
Ah, yes, the conflict zone. This is where money feels the least romantic and, frankly, the most stressful. Often because it's standing in for deeper issues. One big source of tension: power imbalances. When one partner earns significantly more, it can really shift the decision-making dynamic, sometimes subtly, sometimes not.
How so?
While the higher earner might feel like their opinion counts more or feel burdened, the lower earner might feel dependent, maybe resentful, or like their contribution isn't valued as much. It's not just about who pays, it's about who feels in control, whose values drive the spending.
So it's the psychology of the disparity, not just the number.
Precisely. Then, of course, you've got that clash of spending habits we mentioned earlier, the spender versus saver. But it's often deeper than just budget lines. It's about what you value. Is travel essential experience or frivolous luxury? These aren't just money disagreements. They feel like battles over what life is about.
Which explains why people say couples fight more about money than anything else sometimes.
It often reflects core values and fears, yeah. And money decisions are constant. They happen every day. Then you get into things that really damage trust, like hidden debts or secret accounts, what some people call financial infidelity.
Ooh, that sounds serious.
It is. It's not just a mistake. It's deliberate concealment, hiding credit card debt, making risky investments alone, having a secret stash of cash. The betrayal can feel huge, sometimes even worse than physical infidelity for some, because it directly threatens the couple's shared security, their future.
I can see that. It undermines the whole partnership.
Absolutely. And another common friction point: career sacrifices for love. Think about when one partner steps back from their career, maybe to raise kids or support the other's job. That creates really complex financial and emotional ripples. The sacrificing partner loses income, retirement savings, maybe part of their identity.
And might feel vulnerable or resentful later on.
Exactly. Especially if their non-monetary contributions aren't seen as equally valuable in the financial picture. It's a potent mix.
Wow. That really highlights how money conflicts are rarely just about the money itself. Okay, bringing it to today, 2025. How are current trends, technology, changing things even more?
Technology is moving so fast, and it's definitely reshaping financial lives and relationships. Take digital banking. On one hand, shared apps make transparency super easy. You can both see where the money's going instantly.
That sounds good.
It can be, but it can also lead to, like, hyperscrutiny, micromanaging, judging every little purchase. That quick coffee suddenly becomes a point of contention.
Right, that instant access cuts both ways, opportunity and friction.
Definitely. Then you have all the new fintech digital payments, robo-advisors, crypto. Cryptocurrency is a big one now. You might have one partner wanting to dive into high-risk crypto, chasing big returns, while the other prefers safe, traditional investments.
That sounds like a recipe for disagreement.
It forces couples to confront really fundamental differences in risk tolerance, how they see the future, what even counts as an investment. It's a whole new battleground, potentially. We're also seeing prenups become more common, and not just for the ultra-rich.
Really? Why is that?
More couples, even with modest assets, see them as a way to clarify expectations up front. Protect assets they had before marriage, especially if it's second marriage or there are kids involved. Deal with potential future debt. Some argue it can actually strengthen the relationship by forcing those tough, honest money talks early on.
An interesting perspective.
And, of course, we can't ignore social media, the endless stream of perfect lifestyles, amazing holidays, fancy stuff. It creates huge pressure. Studies actually show couples who spend more time comparing themselves on Instagram report more financial dissatisfaction, more arguments, trying to keep up with an often unrealistically edited version of wealth.
So technology gives us tools, but also new pressures and complexities. It's changing how we spend, save, and, yeah, fight about money. Relationships have to adapt. Okay, so given all this, what does it mean for couples trying to make it work? What's the actual blueprint for financial harmony?
Right, let's pivot to solutions.
Yeah.
How do you navigate this? I think there are 5 really key steps couples can take to build financial peace. First, and this is probably the most important, open, honest conversations. Regularly. Talk about money before you get married, your history with it, your fears, your dreams, those money scripts we talked about.
Get it all out there.
Yes, and then keep talking. Make it a regular thing, like a monthly money date, not just when there's a crisis.
Okay, proactive communication.
Right.
Makes sense. What's second?
Second, consider a balanced approach to bank accounts. Maybe a mix of joint and separate. A joint account for shared bills, household stuff, common goals that builds partnership, but individual accounts for personal spending. That preserves autonomy, reduces nitpicking over small things.
Respecting both the we and the me.
Exactly. Third, transparency is non-negotiable. No hidden debts, no secret accounts, no undisclosed risks. Trust is everything, and financial honesty is core to that.
Absolutely critical.
Fourth, actively work towards shared goals. Saving for a down payment, planning that big trip, building retirement. Having common objectives gives you something to strive for together. It builds teamwork, reminds you you're on the same side.
It's a shared vision.
Yeah.
Got it. And fifth.
Fifth, respect your differences. Look, spenders and savers will likely always lean one way or the other. The key is to understand why your partner has those habits. Find compromises. Maybe the saver agrees to a dedicated fund money fund. Maybe the spender commits to automatic savings. Meet halfway. Value each other's perspective. Create a plan that works for both of you.
So it really comes down to communication, understanding, teamwork, compromise, not just spreadsheets.
Precisely. When couples approach money as a team project, not a constant battle, that's when love really has the space to grow. The financial foundation becomes a source of strength, not stress.
That's a really powerful and practical way to look at it. It seems clear money won't buy love, no, but it absolutely can buy peace of mind. And that peace of mind creates the conditions for love to actually flourish. It's invaluable.
It truly is. When you manage money wisely, openly, together, it becomes a tool that strengthens your bond, freeing you up to focus on connection, shared experiences, not financial stress. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. How could proactively talking about money, understanding your partner's financial story, transform your relationships? Could it shift things from potential conflict towards a shared path, towards understanding, growth, and hopefully real peace?
A really profound question to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Next time, we're tackling modern marriage, tradition versus choice in the 21st century. It's going to be a fascinating cultural look at how couples worldwide are redefining commitment today. You won't want to miss it.